Well, I'm taping this on Easter Sunday as I have nothing to do and nowhere to go, which you might find strange, but being that I've been dealing with certain situations for the last 7 years, it's nothing big deal. But anyway, I got to put something over here. The pickup, which I have spoken about before in a previous episode. Severin basically had found a completely uncut print of this, and it just got released. I don't know if it's a limited edition or whatever, but be honest with you, it's one of the best films I've seen. It's not only, it's almost like three things in one, like a crime film, a roughie, and a film noir because of the way it was shot. And it also features the legendary Dave Friedman in the film and director Bob Crusay as gangsters. And Dave even gets to bed somebody. And I've already spoken about the plot, I think, on the other one, so I'm not going to elaborate on that. All I can say is this is a pristine print, and it's a film that Dave really wanted to have resurfaced again. Something weird had found a print when they were in Sweden with Danish subtitles burnt into it. They were selling that as a download. So this is head and shoulders better. Also, it has a special little extra DVD, Mau Mau Sex Sex, from, when the hell was this? Oh, 2001. It's a documentary with Dave Friedman, Dan Sonny, Frank Henenlotter, and a clip with Mike Veraney. And it basically covers Dave and Dan's relationship, how they met, how the Sony family had started this whole exploitation thing, and how Dave had quit Paramount, a really good job at Paramount New York, to basically go work with Dan and go explore the underbelly. And when this was filmed, Dan was retired. He was 84 years old. He said on camera. Dave was still doing stuff. Dave was still working his carnival. Dave was still going to conventions. Dave was still active. It's rather poignant, when you go up and see Mike Veraney, who unfortunately is no longer with us, open the door to his warehouse and you see the cans and cans and cans of films that he has. And Dan Sonny remarks, "Mike, I think you're sicker than all of us." So, unfortunately, none of the three are with us anymore. And it's kind of weird because when this airs, it will be airing on the 21st. And that's my mother's birthday. She'll be 96 years old and hold the, accolades and things like that. Mom fell a few years ago and has been bedridden ever since. And she don't want to be here. And usually when I talk to her, it's about, nothing going on, being stuck in your bed and shit like that. One of my last conversations with Dave Friedman was that he was about 87 years old, and I always used to call him on the eve of his birthday, Christmas Eve, to wish him a happy birthday. And we were chatting for a while, and all of a sudden his voice dropped a bit, and he said, "You know something, Pete? People weren't meant to live this long." And I think about a year after that, he passed away on Valentine's Day. The reason I bring this up is that basically we're being kept alive a lot longer than some of us should be, and being kept alive in a certain way, to me, is inhumane. My mother is getting great care because I helped pay for it. That's why I have no money. I went broke in the initial stages of this thing, sending her whatever I could, or I have a brother who did nothing. My sister is doing just about everything down there because she's the only one that's reliable down there. I don't want to lose my mom, but I understand how it is, and I understand that she wants to leave. I also didn't want her to wind up like my grandfather, who almost made it to 100, who they were basically keeping alive, and basically they had him out in the corridor, and that's where he died, on a gurney. And one time, my many emergency room visits last year, when I was leaving after I had sliced his finger open to the bone here, I walked past this poor old man who was curled up on the gurney with all kinds of tubes going in him, laying there in the dark, and I was thinking to myself, what the fuck is his story? And I don't want to end up like that. And honestly, I don't. I was with Gary Kent until the end. He had something wrong with him. He was put in, quote, rehab. Rehab is a death house. That's all. You're in there. You have to wrap your head around this, because some people want to keep their relatives with them as long as they can, But you look at these people and they're not even here. They're just hollow-eyed, waiting to pass. They're not even with us, and it's wrong to do this. And I don't know what the outcome is going to be because I'm alone, and I don't know what's going to happen. But it's just sad when I talked to Dave like this, and at the end of this movie, they basically went over there where they did a lot of stuff, where the posters were printed, where the films were stored, and this and that, and they were pointing out the places that weren't there anymore. Sort of like when I did that little documentary on 42nd Street, River to River, and walked down 42nd Street and pointed out where places aren't anymore. So it's kind of sad, and then the two of them, we get a back shot of them walking back to their car like two old-time gunfighters riding out off into the sunset, never to be seen or heard from again. Well, let me tell you something. Dave Friedman is a legend in my eyes, and if it wasn't for Dave and guys like him, we wouldn't have had the freedom in film and motion pictures that we did have for a while, which probably is going to be restricted down the road here. Like I said, Dave was a legend. Dave was a mentor to all of us coming up, Mike Ferrani, myself, and everything else. And he was sorely missed. And guys like that just aren't around anymore because, to quote William Forsythe, they don't make guys like that anymore. So I just wish my mother the best, and the best gift I can give her is wish her a peaceful passing. Just go to sleep and be with your father, your mother, and your aunts and uncles that have passed before you. That's all I can wish her. It's kind of sad, and like I deal with this every day. I got Boots here who is on borrowed time. Blanca's on borrowed time. I'm probably on borrowed time, but sort of hate to be a downer, but that's the way it is. Like I said, I just read it when I was watching this. A couple tears came to my eyes because I realized what we all lost with Dave and Dan leaving, and a lot of other people leaving, and there's no more of the real old-time exploitation guys left anymore. Just a couple, and it is what it is, boys and girls. Time rolls on. I know you want to do something, but definitely pick up the pickup. It's worth it. I seldom put over a company like this, but when they do a good job and it's a really good film, hey, fuck it. I bought it. I'm sure you guys will probably pick it up. It's definitely worth the look. So until our next show, stay safe, be well, thanks for subscribing, and we'll catch you on the flip side.